Do I like that one? Hey. Hey, tea sippers. Let me take this out of my ear. What done happened? Where my screen? Hey. Hey, tea sippers. I'm back tonight. Cause it's always something, man. It's always something. So it look like they trying to do that mistrial I told y'all about earlier. So we got it kind of early in the game. And they talking about it now. Ooh, Lord. Hold on. Let me see. Do I need some light? So, I'm not going to be on here long. I say that all the time, don't I? But I'm going to play some stuff. Because they also talking about Ava. Missing Ava. Where is little Ava? I said, oh. They asking about Ava. They talking about the mistrial. And what else did I see? It's a bunch of stuff. Dark side reveal. It's a lot of stuff. They really are trying real hard to discredit people because Diddy ass is going to prison. What did I just do? What did I just do? What just happened? And this was, he's a monster. But let me get over here so I can. And then I saw where Sheila E. Dun, 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 dun. Y'all please come in, hitting the like button. Hey, no strings attached. How you doing? Without love, it ain't no, it ain't love. She said Prince told her some stuff. You know, so you know, if it had it not been from this trial, we would not have known that Prince and hey Crystal, I'm tired, but you know I'm pressing my way. If it wasn't for all of this that's going on right now, and I've had some death in my family, so I am. Dang it, I was, oh, Lord. And I have some, anyway, I got a lot going on. And I'm tired. I have no idea why I'm so tired. But anyway, I guess this Diddy stuff is just kind of overwhelming, huh? It just, I don't know what gonna happen. Which one the father? When the Dolph case stuff start back up, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know what I'm gonna do. But anyway, so Yeah, if this wouldn't, it's draining. So you feel me? It is draining because every day he pull a stunt every day. I couldn't imagine dating this sociopath, baby. Because listen, it's a stunt every day. He pull a stunt. Know why? Okay, do y'all see me or do y'all see a? Okay, there you go. Ooh. You know, YouTube be changing their policies all the time, and you know they be trying to take censored. You know, ooh, it's just so much. And anyway, anyway, so hadn't this not been going on? Thank you. We wouldn't even known that there was an issue with Prince, right? You know, how long after that incident does something mysteriously happen to Prince, since they done been all up in Prince's house and shit? No, that was in a different location, wasn't it? I don't trust nothing about Diddy. I'm gonna tell you now. I don't trust nothing about him. So let me start with that one first, since that was talking about. I heard him talking about Sheila E. was talking to somebody. I got that one. Do I need to start with Sheila? Just a whole bunch. And they still ain't went off into the real parties with the celebrities. You know what I'm saying? What is this here? I thought that was over there. Hold on. Let's go here.
And whether there was more to the story than met the eye. Whispers began immediately.
Y'all ready to go in?
And when someone close to the legendary American singer, songwriter, musician, and producer was asked about the discovery, their response was telling, "Yes, and I can't talk about it." That quiet refusal hinted not only at pain, but at secrets. There's a lingering sense that what we know is only 911 call. And whether there was more to the...
Did you hear anything about who found him, how he was found, or the 911 call or anything like that?
Yes.
Yeah?
And I can't talk about it.
Yeah.
When the world learned of Prince Rogers Nelson's untimely death, the first questions weren't just how it happened, but who found him. What exactly was said during that chilling 911 call, and whether there was more to the story than met the eye. Whispers began immediately, and when someone close to the legendary American singer, songwriter, musician, and producer was asked about the discovery, their response was telling, "Yes, and I can't talk about it." That quiet refusal hinted not only at pain, but at secrets. There's a lingering sense that what we know is only part of the story. For instance, Sheila E. has recently revealed what Prince confessed about Diddy before his death.
The first Diddy party I went to was at Prince's house. So you want to go to Prince's house to the Diddy party.
Today, we'll delve into the details of this mystery and much more. Let's get started.
You've probably heard about Boxable's flagship product, the Casita. Come on in.
Sheila E.'s role and alleged revelations. In the days following Prince's tragic death on the 21st of April 2016, at his Paisley Park estate in Chanhassen, Minnesota, the shock rippled far beyond the music world. For those who knew him personally, the devastation was compounded by disbelief, especially because there had been no warning signs. One of the earliest and most heartfelt responses came from Sheila E., the acclaimed percussionist and longtime collaborator, who took to social media to urge fans to pray for Prince's family. "Please keep his family in your prayers," she wrote. hinting at a grief that ran far deeper than what words alone could express. However, in the years since, Sheila E.'s name has increasingly surfaced in speculative accounts and conspiracy threads, especially those trying to piece together what Prince knew, especially about Diddy. What we do know for sure is that Prince's passing came without warning. Just 6 days before his death, on the 15th of April 2016, his private plane made an emergency landing in Moline, Illinois, due to a health scare. It was later revealed that he had suffered an opioid overdose and was revived with a shot of naloxone.
Narcan. Hold on, y'all. Let me see if this one over here would be better and closer. Let me
He was
see.
founder, the 911.
Speculated Combs post. She was a prominent figure in Prince's inner circle. Earliest and most heartfelt responses came from Sheila E., the acclaimed percussionist and longtime collaborator, who took to social media to urge fans to pray for Prince's family. Please keep his family in your prayers, she wrote, hinting at a grief that ran far deeper than what words alone could express. However, in the years since, Sheila E.'s name has increasingly surfaced in speculative accounts and conspiracy threads, especially those trying to piece together what Prince knew, especially about Diddy. What we do know for sure is that Prince's passing came without warning. Just 6 days before his death, on the 15th of April 2016, his private plane made an emergency landing in Moline, Illinois, due to a health scare. It was later revealed that he had suffered an opioid overdose.
Can y'all still
revived
hear?
in Ashley Park on April 16th, and telling fans to wait a few days before
Oh, Cindy,
waste
did
any
you?
prayers.
Hold on.
His sudden demise.
Were y'all able to hear just a minute ago?
However, in the years since, Sheila E.'s name has increasingly surfaced in speculative accounts and conspiracy threads, especially those trying to piece together what Prince knew, especially about Diddy. What we do know for sure is that Prince's passing came without warning. Just 6 days before his death, on the 15th of April 2016, his private plane made an emergency landing in Moline, Illinois, due to a health scare. It was later revealed that he had suffered an opioid overdose and was revived with a shot of naloxone, commonly known as Narcan. Yet the public narrative remained vague, and Prince himself made an effort to appear in good spirits, hosting a dance party at Paisley Park on April 16th and telling fans to wait a few days before you waste any prayers. His sudden demise just days later led many, including Sheila E., to question whether the full truth had yet to come to light. Sheila Escovedo, better known as Sheila E., had known Prince since the late 1970s. They began working closely in the early 80s, and their bond was both musical and deeply personal. She was a prominent figure in Prince's inner circle during the Purple Rain era, and was even engaged to him at one point. Over the decades, the two shared an enduring creative connection, and many believe that she remained one of the few people Prince trusted implicitly. In the aftermath of his death, Sheila E. not only mourned him, but also hinted, subtly yet unmistakably, that something larger may have been at play. Online theories have since gained traction, particularly those centered on the claim that Sheila E. was the last person Prince confided in before his death. Some claim that he may have opened up about his highly public battle with Warner Brothers Records in the 1990s, during which he famously changed his name to an unpronounceable symbol and appeared in public with the word slave written on his face. Sheila E. has neither fully confirmed nor denied these more conspiratorial takes. However, her more recent interviews and public comments occasionally lean into a tone of cautious revelation. In one interview, she stated, "There are things people don't know, and I don't know if they ever will." This ambiguity has only fueled further speculation. So, could there indeed be a connection between Prince's passing and Diddy? Let's dive straight into it. Diddy party at Prince's house, and the latter's intent to expose the
Bye, George.
To understand the whole situation,
Bye.
we need to move back in time to the mid-2000s. Prince had opened up his Minneapolis estate for select industry
Bye.
and it was here that Sean Diddy Combs hosted.
George, you need to send a super chat, a super sticker if you think you're gonna stay here since you running your mouth. And you got 1 minute. How about that? Bye, George.
One of his now infamous parties. According to several attendees, including actor Tyrese Gibson, who later referenced the night publicly, it was a surreal gathering, an odd mixture of glitz, exclusivity, and an undercurrent of something less tangible, something hard to name, but impossible to ignore.
Bye.
Celebrities like Demi Moore and Ashton Kutcher were also in attendance, and the environment, while lavish, was cloaked in a sense of controlled mystery. But what stood out most was not the decor or the guest list. It was the security protocol, or rather, the lack thereof. Unlike other A-list gatherings where each celebrity arrives with a mini entourage of bodyguards, Diddy insisted that no personal security detail was allowed inside. Every attendee had to leave their guards at the gate. For some, this may have been chalked up to a desire for privacy and intimacy, but for others, it raised unsettling questions about control and the intentions behind orchestrating such an isolated environment. In celebrity culture, where personal safety is paramount, such a stipulation is rare, almost unheard of. Why would a music mogul like Diddy, known for navigating the treacherous waters of fame and power, insist on having complete dominion over a space that wasn't even his own?
Never buy magnesium from the store.
For just a little.
Insist on having complete dominion over a space that wasn't even his own? One can only speculate. But here's what we do know. Prince had long been outspoken about the inner workings of the music industry. His public feud with Warner Brothers Records during the 1990s set a precedent for artist empowerment. He changed his name to an unpronounceable symbol in 1993 as a protest against contractual bondage, famously appearing in public with "slave" scrawled across his cheek. He later regained the rights to his master recordings in 2014, a rare and significant victory in an industry that often denies such control to even the most successful acts. But many believe Prince's frustrations ran deeper than publishing rights. Those close to him have hinted that he was increasingly troubled by darker aspects of the industry. He believed that there was a hidden infrastructure, a network
right, and we didn't know that they had an incident
that operated behind the glossy surface of fame. Some allege that the party hosted by Diddy at Paisley Park was where Prince began to see the depth of what he was up against. He allowed the party to happen not out of generosity, but to observe, to take stock of who moved within those elite circles, and under what rules they played. While concrete evidence of anything nefarious remains elusive, the whispers haven't gone away. Independent researchers have speculated that Prince was preparing to reveal more than just the contractual corruption he had long decried. Some claim he was gathering information on the psychological and, in some extreme accounts, even ritualistic control mechanisms allegedly used in Hollywood and the music business. Though these claims often border on the conspiratorial, their persistence points to a widespread unease, one Prince himself may have shared. In 2015, during a rare public speech, he said, "Truth is not always popular, but it is always right." Some fans believe that statement was a subtle signal. He was about to say what others feared to say. Diddy's name has continued to emerge in some of these whispered conversations. While the hip-hop mogul has never been formally linked to any proven misconduct in connection to Prince or the party at Paisley Park, the atmosphere of secrecy surrounding that event, combined with later allegations involving industry parties, manipulation of young artists, and power dynamics, has only fueled speculation. The 2020s have seen a growing wave of industry figures speaking out about their past experiences, from Britney Spears and her conservatorship to Kesha's legal battles with producer Dr. Luke. These revelations have lent renewed urgency to older, unresolved mysteries, including the final chapters of Prince's life. If Prince was indeed attempting to expose a broader truth, he never got the chance to do it openly. His sudden death, officially attributed to an accidental fentanyl overdose, left too many questions unanswered. But the story of that party, with its bizarre guest restrictions and its curious host, remains lodged in the minds of those still trying to make sense of it all. It was a moment when two very different worlds briefly collided. Sheila E. and Prince, personal and professional ties. Sheila E. held a singular place in Prince's life, not just as a musical collaborator, but as a confidant, muse, and at one point, fiancé. Their relationship, spanning nearly 4 decades, was defined by artistic chemistry, deep emotional connection, and a series of collaborations that produced some of the most electrifying music of the 1980s. The story began in 1977, when Sheila E. was introduced to Prince backstage after a concert in Oakland, California. At the time, Sheila was an accomplished percussionist, having performed with jazz fusion legends like George Duke and Herbie Hancock. Prince, still in the early stages of his meteoric rise, was immediately struck by her talent, and perhaps her aura. He told her that night that they would one day make music together. That prophecy would prove to be more than true. Their professional partnership flourished in the early 1980s, with Prince inviting Sheila to contribute percussion to his 1984 album Purple Rain. That same year, she signed with Warner Brothers Records under Prince's mentorship, releasing her breakout debut album, The Glamorous Life, produced by Prince himself. The title track became a hit, reaching number 7 on the Billboard Hot 100 and earning her a Grammy nomination. It was clear that Sheila E. was more than just another artist in Prince's orbit. She was an extension of his creative vision. The two artists shared the stage on the 1984 to 1985 Purple Rain tour, with Sheila E. opening the shows before joining Prince's set later in the night. Their live chemistry was undeniable, often blurring the lines between performance and personal expression. When Prince launched his ambitious Sign of the Times tour in 1987, he brought Sheila on as the drummer and musical director, an unusual position of authority for a woman in the male-dominated world of rock and funk at the time. But perhaps the most unforgettable moment of that tour occurred when Prince proposed to Sheila on stage in front of thousands of fans. Though it was never clear whether it was part of the act or a genuine proposal, Sheila later confirmed in interviews that it was sincere. She described the moment in her 2014 memoir, The Beat of My Own Drum, with heartfelt emotion. Though the two were briefly engaged, they never married. Sheila E. later cited the demands of fame and the complexities of Prince's personality as contributing factors. Prince was notoriously private and mercurial, and while he cherished intimacy, he often kept emotional distance even from those closest to him. Their relationship, like much of Prince's life, existed in a liminal space. It was more than a friendship, but they never quite solidified their bond in conventional terms. After years of close collaboration, including performances at Prince's Paisley Park estate and joint appearances at awards shows and charity concerts, their relationship cooled. According to some sources, Prince was deeply hurt by parts of Sheila E.'s memoir, which he felt exposed private elements of their relationship. The book, which explored her early life, music career, and connection to Prince, was not intended as a tell-all, but Prince's sensitivity to privacy and control created a 5-year silence between them. However, the two reconciled not long before Prince's death. In the months leading up to that tragic day, Sheila E. was seen at Paisley Park on several occasions. She performed with Prince at a 2015 rally for Freddie Gray in Baltimore, and appeared on stage with him during his Piano and a Microphone tour. Their reunion, though discreet, was marked by a renewed sense of trust and warmth. Sheila later stated that Prince had begun opening up again, not just musically, but emotionally, confiding in her about things that were troubling him, especially about the dark side of the industry. In a posthumous swirl of theories surrounding Prince's death, Sheila E.'s role has taken on renewed interest. Not only was she one of the last people to speak with him at length, but several unverified online claims suggest that she was privy to confidential conversations Prince had in the final weeks of his life. One such theory points to Prince's concerns over the influence of powerful figures in the music world, particularly Sean "Diddy" Combs. Sheila E. has consistently advocated for the preservation of Prince's legacy, often emphasizing his generosity, his genius, and his desire to protect younger artists from the same traps he once fell into. In interviews, she has suggested that Prince was especially disturbed by the industry's increasing commodification of art, the erosion of creative independence, and the spiritual toll of fame. According to a 2016 People magazine interview, Sheila said, "He wasn't afraid to speak the truth, even if it meant people would walk away from him." She even organized a tribute concert in Minneapolis just months after he passed, and has continued to perform his music in tribute. Her social media posts have often carried a tone of reverence and grief, calling on fans to pray not just for Prince's soul, but for the truth to emerge about his passing. "There's more to this than we know," she once said during a radio interview, "and I think the people who loved him."
Introducing Wegovy through Hers. Ready to lose up to 20% of your body weight or more? Through Hers, this FDA-approved treatment for weight loss is available for 50% off. Now you can feel confident about losing weight and keeping it off, all at an affordable price. Hers off.
And I think the people who loved him, and he loved, deserve answers. Well, we are
Oh, so you was
getting
there.
answers. For one, while Prince did not live to see it, he was proven absolutely right. Sean "Diddy" Combs has indeed turned out to be an abusive manipulator. The allegations again will reign. That same year, she signed Warner Brothers Records under Prince's mentorship, releasing her breakout debut album, The Glamorous Life, produced by Prince himself. The title track became a hit, reaching number 7 on the Billboard Hot 100 and earning her a Grammy nomination.
Hey, Amber.
It was clear that Sheila E.
Hey,
was more than just
Amber.
another artist in Prince's orbit. She was an extension of his creative vision. The two artists shared the stage on the 1984 to 1985 Purple Rain tour, with Sheila E. opening the shows before joining Prince's set later in the night. Their live chemistry was undeniable, often blurring the lines between performance and personal expression. When Prince launched his ambitious Sign of the Times tour in 1987, he brought Sheila on as the drummer and musical director, an unusual position of authority for a woman in the male-dominated world of rock and funk at the time. But perhaps the most unforgettable moment of that tour occurred when Prince proposed to Sheila on stage in front of thousands of fans. Though it was never clear whether it was part of the act or a genuine proposal, Sheila later confirmed in interviews that it was sincere. She described the moment in her 2014 memoir, The Beat of My Own Drum, with heartfelt emotion. Though the two were briefly engaged, they never married. Sheila E. later cited the demands of fame and the complexities of Prince's personality as contributing factors. Prince was notoriously private and mercurial, and while he cherished intimacy, he often kept emotional distance even from those closest to him. Their relationship, like much of Prince's life, existed in a liminal space. It was more than a friendship, but they never quite solidified their bond in conventional terms. After years of close collaboration, including performances at Prince's Paisley Park estate and joint appearances at awards shows and charity concerts, their relationship cooled. According to some sources, Prince was deeply hurt by parts of Sheila E.'s memoir, which he felt exposed private elements of their relationship. The book, which explored her early life, music career, and connection to Prince, was not intended as a tell-all, but Prince's sensitivity to privacy and control created a 5-year silence between them. However, the two reconciled not long before Prince's death. In the months leading up to that tragic day, Sheila E. was seen at Paisley Park on several occasions. She performed with Prince at a 2015 rally for Freddie Gray in Baltimore, and appeared on stage with him during his Piano and a Microphone tour. Their reunion, though discreet, was marked by a renewed sense of trust and warmth. Sheila later stated that Prince had begun opening up again, not just musically, but emotionally, confiding in her about things that were troubling him, especially about the dark side of the industry. In a posthumous swirl of theories surrounding Prince's death, Sheila E.'s role has taken on renewed interest. Not only was she one of the last people to speak with him at length, but several unverified online claims suggest that she was privy to confidential conversations Prince had in the final weeks of his life. One such theory points to Prince's concerns over the influence of powerful figures in the music world, particularly Sean "Diddy" Combs. Sheila E. has consistently advocated for the preservation of Prince's legacy, often emphasizing his generosity, his genius, and his desire to protect younger artists from the same traps he once fell into. In interviews, she has suggested that Prince was especially disturbed by the industry's increasing commodification of art, the erosion of creative independence, and the spiritual toll of fame. According to a 2016 People magazine interview, Sheila said, "He wasn't afraid to speak the truth, even if it meant people would walk away from him." She even organized a tribute concert in Minneapolis just months after he passed, and has continued to perform his music in tribute. Her social media posts have often carried a tone of reverence and grief, calling on fans to pray not just for Prince's soul, but for the truth to emerge about his passing. "There's more to this than we know," she once said during a radio interview, "and I think the people who loved him, and he loved, deserve answers." Well, we are getting answers. For one, while Prince did not live to see it, he was proven absolutely right. Sean "Diddy" Combs has indeed turned out to be an abusive manipulator. The allegations against Diddy. To say that Diddy is facing legal trouble would be a massive understatement. And this is not his first run-in with the law either. Over the years, his many victims have come forward with their stories, and hopefully they will be heard this time. For instance, back in December 2022, what was expected to be an opulent and routine chartered yacht experience in the Caribbean quickly devolved into a harrowing ordeal for Grace O'Marcaigh, a professional steward who was the sole crew member on duty. The yacht in question had been rented by Sean "Diddy" Combs and his son Christian Combs for a luxury trip to the island of St. Martin. O'Marcaigh, whose responsibilities included overseeing the guests' needs and maintaining order on board, soon found herself in a situation she could never have anticipated. According to a civil lawsuit later filed in U.S. federal court, O'Marcaigh alleges that while attending to guests on the sun deck, she was offered a glass of tequila by Christian Combs. Accepting the drink as part of her social duties, she soon found herself feeling uncomfortable and attempted to step away. At that moment, she claims Christian seriously misbehaved with her. The unfolding of this assault was not entirely without witnesses. Rodney Lil Rod Jones, a music producer also present on the yacht, is said to have discreetly recorded the altercation on his phone. The audio captures Omar Kekri repeated pleas for Christian to stop, as well as her audible fear that she may have been sedated. The situation worsened when Christian allegedly followed her to the yacht's private cinema room. There, she claims, his behavior became even more aggressive. Fortunately, her partner, who was also aboard the vessel, intervened in time to prevent further harm. Omar K. later reported the events to the captain of the ship, hoping for procedural escalation. However, she claims that the captain took no action and instead accepted a bribe from Diddy to suppress the incident.
Wow.
As part of her lawsuit, Omar K. provided photographic evidence of bruising on her arm, which she alleges was inflicted by Christian.
Emergencies can strike at any time. That's why it's crucial to be prepared.
Wow.
Create a support system,
which she alleges was inflicted by Christian. The psychological toll of this experience reportedly devastated Omar K.'s personal life. Her relationship with her partner, strained by the trauma, ultimately dissolved, and she has since struggled with anxiety and emotional distress. Her legal filing names Christian Combs as the primary perpetrator, accusing him of assault, battery, and intentional infliction of emotional suffering. Sean Combs is also named in the lawsuit as having allegedly enabled or covered up the misconduct. Omar K. also claims to have witnessed during the voyage. She recounts how an escort on board locked herself inside a massage room, crying uncontrollably, seemingly afraid to leave. Another passenger, identified as Brendan Paul, a figure closely associated with Diddy's inner circle, allegedly confided in Omar K. about having to observe the obscene depravities of Senior Combs. The seriousness of these allegations was compounded when Christian Combs and his older brother, Justin Combs, were reportedly present during a high-profile federal raid conducted at Diddy's Los Angeles compound in early 2024. Although no charges against them were confirmed at the time, the event drew renewed attention to the string of accusations accumulating around the Combs family. As of now, Sean Diddy Combs has refrained from making any direct public statement addressing Omar K.'s lawsuit. His legal team has not released official comments either, and the case remains pending in the judicial system. But the allegations surrounding the Combs family do not stop with this single incident. In November 2023, singer and performer Cassandra Cassie Ventura, once Diddy's protege and longtime romantic partner, filed a federal lawsuit in New York that would further ignite public scrutiny. The lawsuit, which was filed under the Adult Survivors Act, accused Diddy of subjecting her to years of emotional, physical, and psychological abuse. The allegations outlined in Cassie's legal documents were deeply troubling. She stated that the abuse began in 2005, when she was just 19 years old, and Combs was nearing 36. What followed, she claimed, was a near decade-long pattern of coercion, control, and manipulation. Cassie alleged that Combs supplied her with harmful substances to control her behavior and compliance. Most disturbingly, she claimed that he forced her to participate in what he called freak-offs. Her lawsuit also described attempts to leave the relationship, all of which were met with threats or violence. In one incident in 2018, as their relationship was falling apart, Cassie claimed Combs broke into her home and physically assaulted her. She said she sustained injuries that left her fearing for her life. Although she did not go public at the time, she later cited that year as the moment she made the final decision to end the relationship. In response to the lawsuit, Combs' legal team denied all allegations, describing them as outrageous lies. His attorney, Ben Braffman, accused Cassie of attempting to extort $30 million by threatening to write a tell-all book. and argued that the lawsuit came only after she allegedly failed to receive the money. However, the situation changed dramatically when a surveillance video surfaced showing what appeared to be Combs violently attacking Cassie in a hotel hallway. The footage, though grainy, was authentic enough to reignite public outrage. Soon after the video's circulation, the parties reached an out-of-court settlement. In addition to the well-publicized case involving Cassie Ventura, Combs faces multiple lawsuits from other individuals who have come forward with their own allegations. One such case involves Liza Gardner, who alleges that Combs and musician Aaron Hall assaulted her in 1990. This lawsuit was initially filed in the New York Supreme Court and later moved to the New Jersey State Court.
I bet the twin daughters
Combs has denied the
in a lot of weird.
labeling them as
The Chase,
and claiming their
Chance.
attempts to destroy his
She the
reputation.
one
Another
that
significant
kinda
lawsuit was
bothers me.
filed by Dawn Richard, a former member of the group Ckin. Richard accuses Combs of assault, harassment, and inhumane treatment over a period of more than a decade. She also alleges that she witnessed Combs's abusive behavior toward Cassie Ventura. Additionally, a woman named Thalia Graves has filed a lawsuit alleging that Combs and his bodyguard assaulted her in 2001. The legal challenges for Combs are not limited to these individual lawsuits. As noted earlier, in March 2024, federal authorities raided several of his properties, including his Los Angeles and Miami mansions, as part of an investigation into allegations of trafficking and racketeering. These raids were conducted by the Department of Homeland Security and have intensified the scrutiny surrounding Combs's activities. Combs's legal troubles have also led to significant financial implications. In September 2024, he listed his Los Angeles mansion for $61.5 million, shortly before his arrest. The Properties Association, with the ongoing legal controversies, has made it a hard sell, with potential buyers hesitant due to its negative publicity. Diddy was arrested in September 2024 and has been detained without bail since then. He has pleaded not guilty to all charges. His trial commenced in May 2025 and has been marked by harrowing testimonies from several witnesses. Cassie Ventura, Combs's former girlfriend, testified over multiple days, detailing years of abuse. Dawn Richard, a former member of Ckin, also testified, stating she witnessed Combs assaulting Ventura and was subsequently threatened to maintain her silence. Richard described an incident where Combs threw a skillet of eggs at Ventura and later threatened Richard's life. David James, Combs's former personal assistant, provided further insight into Combs's manipulative behavior. He testified that Combs referred to Ventura as young and moldable, asserting he had her right where he wanted her.
At Sweet Bee Organics, we believe in the power of nature's
Hey,
ingredients
Kane
to
Life.
nurture your body and soul. Unlike conventional products,
Yeah, I'm getting to the adopted daughter.
Asserting he had her
That's her in the
right where
back.
he wanted her. James detailed
Yep.
how Combs controlled various aspects of Ventura's life, including her career, finances, and housing. Beyond the personal abuse allegations, the trial has shed light on how Combs allegedly manipulated the music industry to facilitate his actions. Prosecutors argue that Combs used his influence to lure aspiring artists and employees with promises of fame and success, only to exploit them. The indictment suggests that Combs's business empire, including Bad Boy Entertainment, served as a front for his criminal activities. The trial is ongoing and is expected to continue for several weeks. If convicted, Combs faces a minimum of 15 years to life in prison. Shocking, right? Well, you know who saw it coming? Yes, Prince. He knew all about the depravity and power games in the entertainment industries, but he passed away before he could say it all. Prince's long-standing critique of the music industry. An intriguing anecdote shared by Suge Knight, co-founder of Death Row Records, sheds light on a calculated maneuver by Prince that brought Knight and Sean Diddy Combs face to face in an unexpected setting. This incident, recounted by Knight during an interview with The Art of Dialogue, offers a glimpse into the complex dynamics among prominent figures in the music industry. Suge Knight recalled that while dining at the Roosevelt Hotel in Hollywood, he was approached by a messenger who conveyed that Prince was performing nearby and had personally invited Knight to attend, reserving a special table for him. Accepting the invitation, Knight proceeded to the venue alone. Upon arrival, he discovered that he was seated at a table alongside Diddy, Nas, and other notable figures. Knight interpreted this arrangement as a deliberate setup by Prince, possibly stemming from a grievance Prince harbored against Diddy. Knight remarked, "Prince is the coldest gangster in the world." While Prince never publicly criticized Diddy by name, his advocacy for artist rights and ownership was well known. Prince's disputes with Warner Brothers over control of his master recordings and his decision to change his name to an unpronounceable symbol were emblematic of his fight against exploitative industry practices. This stance contrasted with Diddy's business model, which has faced criticism over the years for allegedly favoring the executive over the artist. Prince was a relentless critic of an industry he believed was built to exploit creativity and silence artists. From the earliest days of his career, beginning with his 1977 deal at just 18 with Warner Brothers, he recognized that creative control came with severe limitations, especially when it came to ownership of master recordings. By the early 1990s, frustration boiled over as Prince sought to release music at his own pace, only to be restricted by the label's commercial strategy. In defiance, he began performing with the word slave written on his face, and in 1993 famously changed his name to an unpronounceable symbol, rejecting the name Prince as a brand owned by the corporation. This act was not just symbolic, but a legal and spiritual rejection of contractual bondage. His emancipation became official in 1999 with the expiration of his Warner Chappell publishing deal, after which he regained control and launched his own music independently under NPG Records. Prince's rebellion, however, was never just about himself. He used his platform to warn young artists about the predatory nature of record contracts, even likening them to slavery. His activism influenced a generation of musicians, with artists like Taylor Swift and Kanye West citing his example in their own battles for creative rights. By the time he reclaimed his name in 2004, Prince had fully integrated his fight for artistic freedom with his spiritual beliefs. As a Jehovah's Witness, he reoriented his work around morality, balance, and higher truth, viewing his music as a sacred gift rather than a commodity. The symbol he adopted represented not only defiance against corporate control, but also a deeper vision of unity and self-realization. All things considered, the orchestrated meeting at the Roosevelt Hotel can be seen as a microcosm of the broader tensions within the music industry, where issues of power, control, and artistic freedom often intersect. Prince's subtle maneuver may have been a strategic move to confront these dynamics head-on, using his influence to challenge the status quo. In light of recent legal challenges facing Diddy, including allegations of misconduct and exploitation, this anecdote gains additional significance. It suggests that concerns about Diddy's practices were present within the industry long before they became public knowledge. Prince's actions, though understated, may have been an early attempt to address these issues within his sphere of influence. Prince's refusal to be controlled by the industry, combined with his refusal to be silenced, left many fans and observers wondering if there was more to his message, something deeper he was on the verge of revealing. In his final years,
If you're having trouble sleeping, you gotta stop sleeping on magnesium. I'm Daniel, the founder of Organics Ocean, and magnesium is a mineral that can help with not only sleep, but stress and muscle cramping. And magnesium glycinate is the preferred magnesium due to its incredible absorption rate. Now, not all magnesium glycinate is made equally, so stay away.
in his final years, Prince
I'm
made cryptic
passing
references to
an
secrets
accident.
within the industry and spoke
think
about the
not.
need
You
for
passing
artists
an
to protect
accident.
themselves. His sudden death on April 21st, 2016, at his Paisley Park estate in Minnesota, shocked the world. Officially, it was attributed to an accidental overdose of fentanyl, a powerful opioid. But the timing and circumstances of his death raised many questions. Only days before his passing, Prince had sought emergency treatment for flu-like symptoms and had even told the crowd at a concert, "Wait a few days before you waste any prayers." He had been working on new projects and was planning to release more music independently. His death brought renewed scrutiny to the battle he had fought for decades. Was he preparing to make a larger statement? One that may have unsettled the status quo? Had he uncovered something, perhaps about exploitation, corruption, or control, that he intended to share with the world? Whether or not those theories hold weight, what remains undisputed is that Prince was a visionary who fundamentally changed the conversation around artistic rights. He showed that musicians could not only demand ownership over their work, but also take it. He did so not by compromising his art, but by making his resistance part of the art itself. His albums, his name change, his public statements, and even his silence in key moments were all calculated acts of rebellion against an industry he believed was built to exploit creativity. And the industry's exploitative practices are finally coming to light. Well, that's it for now. Thanks for watching. Did you like this video? If you did, please consider liking, dropping a comment, and hitting the subscribe button so that you don't miss out on our new uploads. Also, don't miss this video you see on your screen right now. It's truly unbelievable.
Okay, y'all, I need for y'all to hit the like button for me. Come on. Let me get to... Let's see what this one. The one I saw earlier, I guess it was taken down, but hold on. Because I'm not going to be here all night. Y'all get the likes up. Let's hear this one.
Reggie, I know you saw this video, and I know you spoke about it on Vlad, but I wanted to get your thoughts over here on the video of Diddy where he brings out the little girl who he says he adopted. What were your thoughts when you saw that video, and what's your opinion on what it's really about?
Play that for me, John, so people know what I'm talking about. Because everybody only play the small version. Play the whole version and then y'all understand.
As we finish off, you go, Justin.
My name is Justin.
Oh, I didn't see this part.
I'm a Capricorn, and I'm about that action, and I'm about raising money for the healthcare people. And we're just so blessed and thankful, and thank y'all for supporting us today. Yeah.
Bad boy. Okay. What up, y'all? I'm Quincy. I want to say thank y'all for rocking with us. Sorry. I'm a Gemini. For everybody wondering. And thank y'all so much for just, tuning in with us. We felt the energy. We saw the comments. Let's keep it going. This is, we wanted to do this to just wake everybody up in a way of just, in a loving way. So help everybody have a happy Easter. Jesus is risen. Anybody else? Yeah. Everybody, introduce yourself.
My name's Ava. I'm a Scorpio.
No. What's your last name?
Ava Combs.
What's your other last name?
Ava Baroni.
Ava Baroni Combs. Yes, it's breaking news. Diddy adopted a white child.
He is a cutie.
I want you to tell them the story about how I adopted you. But you still have beautiful parents but you're my child also. Please tell the story.
So, I was on the streets, and then Papa Combs decided that he would like to be a caring man. So then he saw me and decided to pick me up and said to come inside and play with his kids.
Hey, but that's like a little bit like borderline suspect. I don't want nobody, we want to get it clear. I adopted you like Madonna adopted kids and everybody else adopted kids. Charlize Theron, everybody that's ever adopted Sandra Bullock. I adopted you because I felt that you could, enjoy also having.
Can y'all believe this?
To take care of you and help you out. So, just clarify it because it's crazy out here online. So I played with the kids and I got permission from your mother and say all of that just because it's crazy out here.
Well, I met Jesse and Delilah when I was 6 months old.
6 months.
And then we basically are sisters, all 4 of us. So. And then I always come over.
Yeah. And it's Ava Brioni Combs. Let's go.
Hi, I'm Jessie, and I'm a Sagittarius, the best sign in the world. And yeah. Hi, I'm Chance. I'm a Cancer, and I just want to say thank you guys for watching.
That's the one that don't like Diddy.
Okay. There was a song by the Floaters back in the day that we grew up on. Float, float on. Y'all remember that? And my name is Larry, and I'm a Sagittarius. And I like a woman who loves everything and everybody. That's pretty much what he was doing, y'all. And this young lady was used to doing. I know he had his other kids doing it and saying all of that. But y'all see what he said? Did y'all really catch what he said? He picked me up off the streets. 1 minute, then he goes to say, because I was on the streets, living on the streets. Then the next minute he's telling her, oh no, say your parents' name, your other parents' name. That's the confusion right there, just in those statements. But a billionaire picking up a little white girl off the streets and adopting her and calling her his own to come home and play with my kids? Oh, man. Y'all can't see this is trafficking? Okay, all right. Okay, he just helping out a nice little white girl that needed some, a family. Okay. Okay. Come on, y'all. Y'all smarter than this. Y'all smarter than this. The way that young girl was talking and looking in the camera and all of that, she had did it before. They were doing that. That's how you shop people to pedophiles and people. We know she used the name of a person. Y'all know what they say about people that are Sagittarius. They freaky as a motherfucker, right? That's why she said that. That was her sign. Or Scorpios. Sagittarius and Scorpios, okay, y'all don't know. All right. Oh, man. Man, that's the most damaging thing I done saw to law enforcement. Let them find out her name is on one of those flights out of the country. Why y'all think they subpoenaed everybody that was on that plane and everybody that was traveling with him on planes, and he took her across a state line? Y'all just don't know, man. This trafficking, this sex trafficking, it's crazy. He needs help. He needs help. And like I said, I'm not gonna shit on him just yet, because if there's 1 or 2% chance that he's innocent of all of the accusations that we all making on him on YouTube, all the companies that's making him sell his stocks and disassociating themselves with him. I've been seeing lately a lot of people like Ed Lover and was it my boy Luke and all of them. Benzino, I told y'all about. Y'all heard me say that on Vlad. Has been coming to his defense lately. Floyd Mayweather. Did y'all hear what 50 Cent said about Floyd Mayweather for coming to his defense? I'll tell you that 50, I love that nigga. There's something about 50 I like. That's the type of nigga I can hang with. But, yeah. Planes, and he took her across a state line?
Who? Wait a minute, what I missed? Oh my God, hold on.
To come home and play with my kids? Oh, man.
He definitely needs
Y'all
to.
can't see this is trafficking? Okay, all right. Okay, he just helping out a nice little white girl that needed some, a family. Okay. Okay. Come on, y'all. Y'all smarter than this. Y'all smarter than this. The way that young girl was talking and looking in the camera and all of that, she had did it before. They were doing that. That's how you shop people to pedophiles and people. We know she used the name of a person. Y'all know what they say about people that are Sagittarius. They freaky as a motherfucker, right? So when she said that was her sign. Or Scorpios, Sagittarius and Scorpios, okay, y'all don't know, all right. Oh, man, that's the most damaging thing I done saw to law enforcement. Let them find out her name is on one of those flights out of the country. Why y'all think they subpoenaed everybody that was on that plane and everybody that was traveling with him on planes, and he took her across a state line? Y'all just don't know, man. This trafficking, this sex trafficking, it's crazy. He needs help. He needs help. And like I said, I'm not gonna shit on him just yet, because if there's 1 or 2% chance that he's innocent of all of the accusations that we all making on him on YouTube, all the companies that's making him sell his stocks and disassociating themselves with him. I've been seeing lately a lot of people like Ed Lover and was it my boy Luke and all of them. Benzino, I told y'all about. Y'all heard me say that on Vlad. Has been coming to his defense lately. Floyd Mayweather. Did y'all hear what 50 Cent said about Floyd Mayweather for coming to his defense? I'll tell you that 50, I love that nigga. There's something about 50 I like. That's the type of nigga I can hang with. But, yeah, it's gonna be interesting, y'all, if any of that come to true. But I just want to go, because we done tore this man up. We done broke him down worse than Bill Cosby. We done broke him down worse than R. Kelly. Worse than, one thing I do give y'all credit about. Y'all don't, I do, y'all don't. Y'all don't shit on Michael Jackson as bad as I think people could. Y'all give, once he got found out guilty, y'all did, a lot of people like, all right, everybody making this shit up on Michael. Fuck you. Don't be talking about Michael. So it'd be interesting to see if Puffy can make a comeback like that, if that 1 or 2% chance that he is innocent. But man, oh man, this brother got some problems, and I was trying to think the other day of a black man that we build up and put them on a pedestal that we didn't eventually break down. Or people didn't break down. Meaning society, United States of America. Y'all remember when Jesse Jackson, the man that ran for president, we broke him down. We know, of course, Suge Knight, we broke him down. Dr. Dre, you know, we breaking him down, but we building him back up. Bill Cosby, we broke him down. R. Kelly, we broke down. Michael, we attempted to break down. Let's see, Michael Jordan, we accused him of being a gambler and all that, broke him down. Jim Brown, we did that to him, you know, with his wife and gotten into his private business about breaking out cars that he owned, his own cars. They tried him for that. Mike Tyson, we saw what we did to him. Tupac Shakur. I guess Obama. About the only one. We just try to say, he wasn't an American and all of that, but that ain't a bad thing, I guess. Obama's about the only one, huh? It's gonna be interesting to see. That's one thing I would never want to be is built up in black man, because you're gonna eventually get broke down. They will break you down. But hey, there's other examples out there. I'm just talking off the top of my head. Snoop, Reggie Wright, break him down. Even posted up pictures of his wife and stuff. But yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting, but that would be my take.
Oh wow. Hold on, I'm not done. Maybe money broke people down. Maybe what?
What they're looking for, because it was going on the premises of trafficking. They're looking for pictures of girls that may appear to be underage.
Uncle Gene is back. And once again, he's spilling the tea on Diddy in a way that makes you question everything.
Okay, so let's pause. Hold on, y'all. Get the lights up, please.
He's unleashing another bombshell about Diddy's shady.
Can we get the lights up, please? Get the lights up, please.
Antics. And trust me, his latest revelations are off the charts. Gene just uncovered the truth about Diddy's adopted daughter, Ava Baroni Combs, and it is wild. Remember in 2020 when Diddy made headlines for adopting Ava? It seemed like a big deal, but then suddenly, she vanished from the spotlight just as quickly as she appeared. According to Gene, there's a lot more to that story than Diddy led on. He claims Diddy allegedly did some pretty messed up things to Ava, making us wonder if the Homeland Security raid was connected to her. And the real question is,
He said
how has
he did
Hollywood
what?
managed to ignore Diddy's shady behavior for so long? It's antics. And trust me, his latest revelations are off the charts. Gene just uncovered the truth about Diddy's adopted daughter, Ava Baroni Combs, and it is wild. Remember in 2020 when Diddy made headlines for adopting Ava? It seemed like a big deal, but then suddenly, she vanished from the spotlight just as quickly as she appeared. According to Gene, there's a lot more to that story than Diddy led on. He claims Diddy allegedly did some pretty messed up things to Ava, making us wonder if the Homeland Security raid was connected to her. And the real question is, how has Hollywood managed to ignore Diddy's shady behavior for so long? It's time to delve into this mess and uncover the real story. Buckle up, because this is craziness, man.
Would even put out some trash like that and really didn't know what he was doing. He's teasing the federal government.
It's safe to say things have reached a whole new level of chaos and discomfort. If you haven't heard the shocking news about Diddy, you might be living under a rock. CNN recently exposed Diddy's disgusting behavior caught on camera, and it supports everything Cassie claimed in her lawsuit.
And he told a story about Wendy Williams. She got fired from Hot 97 because she had a picture of Puffy, and she was saying on air that she was going to reveal the picture.
But that's only scratching the surface. Gene Deal, Diddy's ex-bodyguard from the 1990s, has been on a mission to reveal everything he knows, long before Cassie even filed her lawsuit. Amid all these revelations, one question still lingers. What happened to Diddy's adopted white daughter, Ava Baroni Combs? I'm willing to bet a lot of people don't even remember he adopted her a few years back. And then she just seemed to disappear. It was a random announcement that came out of nowhere, and then she just vanished. Back then, nobody paid much attention. Ava's adoption was quite the surprise. Diddy announced it out of the blue, and for a moment, everyone was talking about it. Then, just as quickly as she appeared in the headlines, she faded away. People soon forgot about her. But now, with all the current drama surrounding Diddy, her sudden disappearance is raising new questions. Where did she go? What happened to her? Back then, we didn't know all the stuff we do now about Diddy. Sure, there were whispers and rumors, mostly about him being on the down low. Some folks took issue with that, but hey, that's his business, right? There's nothing legal about it, so far as I know. And let's not forget from what we knew back then. Those relationships he had with younger guys seemed consensual, so it was like none of our business, right? But now with all this new information on the table, it's enough to make you shiver. Each lawsuit that's come out has peeled back another layer of this guy. Cassie's lawsuit, for instance, painted a picture of Diddy as someone who wasn't just emotionally oppressive, but physically too, in every way imaginable. Then there's Lil Rod stepping up, claiming Diddy not only mistreated him, but also tried to push him into some grim stuff with other industry dudes like Cuba Gooding Jr. But man, when Homeland Security swooped in, raiding his pads in LA and Miami over human teaking suspicions, that's when things went from bad to worse. See, up until then, the lawsuits were civil, no criminal charges. But with the feds diving in like that, it's a whole different ballgame. They don't roll out with a big raid unless they got some serious dirt on someone. Diddy's lawyers came out swinging, accusing the feds of just piling on Diddy and trying to tarnish his public image. They called the raid an unprecedented ambush, paired with a media blitz, leading to what they say is a premature rush to judgment. According to them, it's nothing more than a witch hunt based on unfounded accusations made in civil lawsuits. They insist that there has been no findings of criminal or civil liability and that Mr. Combs is innocent and will continue fighting to clear his name. However, a federal officer responded, stating, "We believe that there is a disturbing history of human teaking.
You've probably heard about Boxable's flagship product, the Casita. Come on in.
Because this is so tall, it gives you a tremendous sense of space.
So everyone loved the look and feel
of human teaking. We are responding to concrete, detailed, explicit allegations. This is not random. We did not choose his name out of a hat. We had allegations that we're following up on. Oh, you better believe if the feds are stepping in on these allegations, this drama is far from over. Brace yourself for more bombshells, because there's bound to be some jaw-droppers on the horizon. And maybe, just maybe, we'll finally get some answers about what truly went down with Diddy's adopted daughter, Ava Baroni Combs. Now, to get to know everything, let's take a trip back to 2020. There's Diddy, casually going live on Instagram as if it's no big deal. And then, out of the blue, he drops a bombshell announcement to the world. He's adopted a white girl named Ava. With all eyes glued to their screens, he even brings Ava on camera, giving her the platform to introduce herself and solidify her place in the Diddy crew.
My name's Ava. I'm a Scorpio.
No. What's your last name?
Ava Combs.
What's your other last name?
Ava Baroni.
Ava then shared a story, a bit rehearsed and cute. about how Diddy saw her and decided to take her in, emphasizing she still had her parents' permission and support.
On the streets, and then Papa Combs decided that he would like to be a caring man. So then he saw me and decided to pick me up and said to come inside and play with his kids.
At the time, many thought it was a great gesture, especially during the pandemic when children needed all the love and support they could get. But now, given all the recent revelations, people can't stop giving him the side eye for so many reasons. Now let's dissect that bizarre video featuring Diddy's adopted daughter, Ava. People couldn't help but feel a bit weirded out by the whole thing. Ava's introduction, "My name's Ava, I'm a Scorpio," sounded more like the start of a dating profile than a heartfelt family moment. And her discomfort was palpable, making viewers squirm in their seats. But wait, there's more to unravel here. Diddy's comparison of his adoption process to Madonna's raises some serious red flags. Reports have swirled for years about Madonna's questionable adoption practices, with allegations of human teaking and exploitation of children. Could Diddy's mention of Madonna hint at some shady dealings behind Ava's adoption? Then there's the puzzling absence of Diddy's daughters in the video. Ava herself expressed a desire to hang out with Diddy's daughters. So why were only his sons featured? And Ava's sudden disappearance from the spotlight after that video, it's like she vanished into thin air. Fans are speculating if Ava's unease in the video was due to something off in the room, especially considering the heavy atmosphere surrounding Diddy and his sons, who are embroiled in their own legal battles. But the real eyebrow raiser
we know that the girls were there.
Bodyguard, Gene Deal. He alleges that Diddy's adoption of Ava was nothing more than a publicity stunt, claiming Diddy used her for clout and discarded her when he was done. According to Gene, Diddy scooped up a homeless girl during the pandemic and paraded her around like his own, but failed to give her the love and care she deserved. But Gene didn't stop there. He danced around the topic, strongly hinting that something fishy is going on between Diddy and Ava. He didn't spill all the details, but he made it crystal clear that insiders in the industry are well aware of what's really going on. The rumors are swirling and it's getting wild. What's even crazier is that all these stories have been circulating in the industry for a long time. Industry folks know all about Diddy's questionable behavior, and it's not just him. Gene mentions other names like Jimmy Levine, who's facing SA charges but somehow manages to keep it hush-hush with the help of his PR team. It's like there's a pattern of sweeping these things under the rug, only for them to resurface years later when it's too late. Sadly, Gene has a point about the industry turning a blind eye to bad behavior time and time again. Just look at the likes of R. Kelly, Harvey Weinstein, and Bill Cosby. The evidence speaks for itself. Even Cassie spilled the tea in her lawsuit, exposing how Diddy's crew of yes men were all too eager to cover up his messes. So when Gene drops hints like this, it's hard not to wonder what's really going on behind closed doors. And then he drops another bombshell, suggesting that Diddy might have some incriminating footage of Ava stashed away somewhere. You catch my drift? It's all starting to sound like a real-life thriller, and we're just scratching the surface.
Wow.
And when you look at the cases of Cassie and Lil Rod, it's hard not to wonder if Diddy did something bad to Ava. In case you need a refresher on how Diddy treated his own girlfriend, here's a rundown. In November 2023, the music industry was rocked by a major legal event. Singer Cassie Ventura, known professionally as Cassie, filed a lawsuit against her ex-partner, Sean Diddy Combs, the famous music mogul. The allegations were serious, involving claims of inappropriate behavior, physical mistreatment, and a decade-long cycle of mistreatment and exploitation. Cassie's lawsuit painted a troubling picture. She claimed that Diddy had an overwhelming control over her life, making her feel trapped and unable to escape his influence. She also alleged that he forced her into intimate acts with other people while he recorded these encounters. One particularly disturbing incident in 2018 detailed how Diddy allegedly forced his way into her home and behaved inappropriately disturbing towards her. Take note, this was his ex-girlfriend, whom he allegedly cherished in front of the camera for 11 long years. Diddy, on the other hand, denied all the accusations. His legal team called the claims offensive and outrageous, describing the lawsuit as filled with baseless falsehoods aimed at tarnishing his reputation. What's even more interesting is how quickly the lawsuit was settled. Just a day after it was filed, attorney Niyama Rami suggested that legal constraints might have pushed for a swift resolution, but the exact reasons remain unknown as the negotiations happened behind closed doors. which is common in such sensitive cases. After this lawsuit broke the internet, it prompted other victims of Diddy to come forward and file their own lawsuits. In the months following the news of his $30 million settlement with Cassie, Diddy faced several other allegations of misconduct. According to Business Insider, Joy Dickerson Neal alleged that Diddy spiked her drink in 1991 after she agreed to go on a date with him. She claimed in her lawsuit that he mistreated her at a nearby location and filmed parts of the act, showing the footage to others like a trophy. In December 2023, another woman filed a lawsuit, alleging that Diddy and two other men mistreated her in 2003. She stated that she was flown to a New York studio where she was poisoned and forced to drink, leaving her unable to consent, resulting in the men taking turns mistreating her. In February 2024, a former associate of Diddy, Rodney Lil Rod Jones, filed a $30 million day after it was filed. Attorney Niyama Rami suggested that legal constraints might have pushed for a swift resolution, but the exact reasons remain unknown as the negotiations happened behind closed doors, which is common in such sensitive cases. After this lawsuit broke the internet, it prompted other victims of Diddy to come forward and file their own lawsuits. In the months following the news of his $30 million settlement with Cassie, Diddy faced several other allegations of misconduct. According to Business Insider, Joy Dickerson Neal alleged that Diddy spiked her drink in 1991 after she agreed to go on a date with him. She claimed in her lawsuit that he mistreated her at a nearby location and filmed parts of the act, showing the footage to others like a trophy. In December 2023, another woman filed a lawsuit, alleging that Diddy and two other men mistreated her in 2003. She stated that she was flown to a New York studio where she was poisoned and forced to drink, leaving her unable to consent, resulting in the men taking turns mistreating her. In February 2024, NBC News reported that a former associate of Diddy, Rodney Lil Rod Jones, filed a $30 million lawsuit against the rapper. Jones claimed that Diddy paid a monthly stipend to Instagram model Jade Ramey for companionship. He further alleged that Diddy employed city girl rapper Young Miami and his ex, Daphne Joy, as companions, with payments handled by his accountant, Robin Greenhill. Jones also accused Diddy of inappropriate behavior towards him. And the revelations don't stop there.
That's
Lil
when
Rod's
Joy
lawsuit
name
stemmed
came
from their
up
collaboration on Diddy's
first.
2023 album, The Love Album, Off the Grid, during which Lil Rod claims that he was groomed, mistreated, and exploited. The lawsuit also implicates actor Cuba Gooding Jr., who, Lil Rod alleges, groped him at one of Diddy's gatherings. Both Diddy
So it
and
was
Gooding
Lil Rod who
denied the
brought up
allegations. Lil Rod
with
claims to possess
victim
a
number
recording
2.
of Diddy admitting to various crimes.
I told
which
y'all
has sparked a
earlier,
federal
I think I already
investigation
knew.
that could significantly impact Diddy's career and reputation. In the wake of these allegations, Homeland Security officials raided Diddy's Los Angeles and Miami properties in March as part of an ongoing investigation. According to NBC News, guns were found on site, and authorities seized Diddy's phone in Miami just as he was about to fly to the Bahamas. His sons, Justin and Christian King Combs, were reportedly handcuffed during the raid at his Los Angeles home. And after CNN released a disturbing video of Diddy punching and kicking Cassie, Diddy issued a video apology. In his apology, the We Ain't Going Nowhere singer described his actions as inexcusable and took full responsibility for them. He stated, "I sought professional help, went into therapy, rehab, and asked God for his mercy and grace. I'm so sorry, but I'm committed to being a better man each and every day. I'm not asking for forgiveness.
He lied.
I'm truly sorry."
I was up. I hit rock bottom. But I make no excuses. My behavior on that video is inexcusable.
He making excuses
I take
now.
full responsibility for my actions in that video.
Despite his apology, many criticized Diddy, arguing that he was only sorry because he got caught. One of Cassie's lawyers also slammed the apology, noting that Diddy had previously denied any wrongdoing. On May 23, 2024, Cassie broke her silence on the gruesome video of her ex-boyfriend physically assaulting her. She took to social media to thank everyone for the love and support she's received, acknowledging that the scars from the past incident still linger. She wrote, "Thank you for all the love and support from my family, friends, strangers, and those I've yet to meet. The outpouring of love has created a place for my younger self to settle and feel safe now. But this is only the beginning. DV is the issue." Cassie continued, It broke me down to someone I never thought I would become. With a lot of hard work, I am better today, but I will always be recovering from my past. Thank you to everyone who has taken this matter seriously. My only ask is that everyone open your heart to believing victims the first time. It takes a lot of heart to tell the truth out of a situation that you were powerless in. Concluding her post, she said, I offer my hand to those still living in fear. Reach out to your people. Don't cut them off. No one should carry this weight alone. This healing journey is never ending. But this support means everything to me. Thank you. Love always, Cassie. On May 29, 2024, it was revealed that the Department of Justice is preparing to launch an indictment against the Bad Boy for Life rapper due to the numerous SA allegations against him. According to the Daily Mail, a grand jury has already been selected to hear the evidence in the federal probe.
We already there.
Have been informed that they may be called to testify. Diddy has been named in 8 cases of SA in recent months, and Homeland Security investigators are reportedly still gathering evidence to make their case against the music mogul bulletproof. With all this information in your memory now refreshed, one pressing question remains. What happened to Diddy's adopted white daughter, Ava Baroni Combs? Is she safe? Where is she now? Although Ava stopped appearing on Combs' social media after 2020, she recently started a TikTok account. The account only has 3 videos so far, which are just short clips of her with music playing in the background. It seems Ava noticed the buzz around her initial videos and decided to address it without giving too much detail about her experiences. Her captions simply say, I'm fine. In her bio, she elaborates a bit more, writing, Hi, I'm Ava Baroni Combs. I'm fine. Don't worry about me. Pray for my dad. Referring to the raids on Combs' home. The young woman in the videos does appear to be the same girl who was in Combs' TikTok in 2020, but she isn't sharing much about her past few years or how she ended up being adopted by Combs in the first place. Given all the disturbing allegations against Diddy, many are suspicious of his treatment of Ava. Fans have been vocal about their concerns, suggesting that Ava's TikTok videos might be a distraction to make some people think everything is fine. Some believe that with all the terrible things Diddy has been accused of doing to his ex-girlfriend and employees, he must have done something to Ava too. Fans are not just curious, they're concerned. Ava's simple messages on TikTok might not be enough to reassure everyone. Many think that her posts are just a way to divert attention from the real issues and protect Diddy's reputation. The timing of her videos has raised eyebrows, and people are wondering if there's more going on behind the scenes. One fan even said, first Ava was on the street when Diddy picked her up. Then she met the twins when she was 6 months old. How does she remember what happened when she was 6 months old? Diddy is creepy AF, and he's probably done something very, very horrific to that poor child.
That's exactly what I said.
The situation is a stark reminder of the complex and often hidden lives of those connected to celebrities. Her brief videos have sparked a lot of questions, but answers remain elusive. While she says she's fine, the context of her words and the ongoing investigations into Diddy's actions leave much to the imagination. As the story unfolds, we can only hope that Ava is truly safe and well. The situation with Diddy has raised many questions, and people are eagerly watching to see what happens next. This ongoing drama is far from over, and the world is waiting to see if more revelations will come to light. But what do you think about this? Do you think Ava did?
Okay, get my likes up. I got more. I need 20 more likes.
Play the music. He's sitting there. He's looking at me. Like waiting. Okay. So then my assistant was like, you know, he wants to hang out with you next week. And I was like, for what? He's like, I think he's trying to fuck you. That's what my assistant said. And I was like, oh, okay. Now I get it. So now no more communication. Now you know to be hands-off with somebody. A number of producers come in to make the approach. And you threaten to punch them in the mouth. Or threaten to knock their head off for talking to you like, or looking at you like you're a woman. You know, when you approach a real man about his masculinity, you're going to get a real reaction back.
And in the same conversation, Terrence also said that he wasn't the only black man Diddy allegedly tried something shady with. According to him, there's a troubling trend where Diddy zeroes in on black men during these so-called freak-off gatherings, and Terrence described them not just as over-the-top parties, but as setups where Diddy allegedly works to break these men down and rob them of their manhood. He made it clear that this isn't just some one-off situation. Without naming names, Terrence hinted at other men in the industry.
I feel so confident thanks to weight loss by hers. I'm down to my goal weight. My friends and family are all noticing my results.
Terrence hinted at other men in the industry who have gone through similar things but stayed silent out of fear, embarrassment, or both. The way he told it, Diddy allegedly preys on black men at moments when they're most exposed, making it part of a calculated ongoing pattern.
Those things. But when you give up your manhood, I've never seen somebody recover from it. That was all the people that went to the puffy parties. That was all the people that did all those things thinking that there was never going to be a consequence for what they were doing. Got punked out and pimped out by some greater desire. You shouldn't have a greater desire than being a man.
Now, as you can expect, he had the internet gagged with these revelations, but we thought that was it. However, it didn't take long for people in the know to start whispering about how Terrence was holding something back. Rumor had it that Terrence was hiding something worse about Diddy, and that it would break the internet when we found out. Well, Terrence also hinted at this when he posted a video on Twitter. He hinted that he was being threatened by some very powerful people, and he threatened to spill everything he knew. And just so we knew that he was talking about the Diddy situation, he added the hashtag #ManCard. You know, the same thing he was talking about on the podcast.
And if you're going to speak against me, then use the same courage that it took for me to say those truths. Man to man, eye to eye, integrity and in truth. I've spent a lifetime earning the right to speak with the conviction about these truths that I speak. So if you want to tear that down, have the decency to come and say it directly to my face. And say it like a man. The conclusions. But we're going to do this respectfully, otherwise we'll end in a duel. And I mean a duel, real life duel. We're only one person miles away.
Well, it looks like Terrence is finally starting to spill what he knows. The word on the streets is that it is allegedly having to do with Diddy's adopted daughter, Ava Baroni, and what really happened to her. Now, there have been a lot of questions among fans in these past couple of years about what really happened to Ava. And from what Terrence is now saying, it doesn't look good. Fans are convinced that she might have been one of Diddy's alleged victims, and it does not look good for her either. So let's take it back to 2020, right smack dab in the middle of a pandemic, when Diddy made an unexpected announcement. He had an adopted young white girl named Ava Baroni Combs. Pretty much overnight, she was introduced as a part of the Combs family. He went on live on Instagram to show her off, proudly presenting her to his followers. And the moment was so sudden and just random, but that made people either overlook it or quickly forget. And honestly, Ava hasn't really been mentioned much since, which likely explains
has she been to court
again until Diddy's recent legal issues started making headlines, along with everything else we've been learning.
Has she been to court with all the other Combs kids?
It seemed like a heartwarming gesture, adopting a child during such a difficult time when so many kids needed support and stability. It came off as a generous act, and most people gave him credit for trying to step up. But now, in light of everything that surfaced about him, the same video feels unsettling. And what once seemed noble now has people watching it with raised eyebrows.
My name's Ava. I'm a Scorpio.
No. What's your last name?
Ava.
What's your other last name?
Ava Baroni.
Ava Baroni Combs? Yes, it was breaking news. Diddy adopted a white child. I want you to tell them the story about how I adopted you. But you still have beautiful parents that you're my child also. Please tell the story.
Oh yeah, wow.
I was on the streets, and then Papa decided that he would like me to be a caring man. So then
oh my God.
He saw me and decided to pick me up and said to come inside and play with his kids.
Oh, wow.
And my husband take a photo for me and show me my results. And literally, I...
That's like borderline suspect. I don't want nobody. You want to get it clear. I adopted you like Madonna adopted kids and everybody else adopted kids. Charlize Theron, everybody's ever adopted Sandra Bullock. I adopted you because I felt that you could, enjoy also having a black parent to take care of you and help you out. So, just clarify it, because it's crazy out here online. So I played with the kids, and I got permission from your mother to say all of that. It's crazy out here.
I met Jesse and Lila when I was 6 months old.
6 months.
And then basically assisted four of us. And then I always come over.
Yeah. And it's Ava Brioni Combs. Let's go.
And honestly, that's not the only red flag. What made things even more questionable is that Diddy publicly compared his adoption to Madonna's, which, let's be real a second, for a millisecond. That's a bold choice because Madonna's adoptions have been surrounded by controversy. According to multiple sources, not all of her adoptions follow proper legal procedures. And a few years ago, the Ethiopian World Federation accused her of human and exploiting children, claiming she misled parents into handing over their children under the promise of education opportunities in the U.S., only to adopt them outright instead. Definitely raised eyebrows that Diddy would model his adoption after Madonna's, especially considering the controversy surrounding her own adoption history. That choice alone speaks volumes, but what's really sparking discussion now is the odd dynamic in that video he posted. Specifically the fact that his sons were front and center. Fans have been asking if Ava expressed interest in playing with Diddy's daughters, why weren't they included front and center?
They were there.
The sons. And then there's the most concerning issue. Ava looked visibly uncomfortable. Her body language and her expression just didn't sit right with a lot of viewers. And that's what led to a wave of speculation. But was it just an awkward moment, or was there something deeper going on? Some people believe the energy in the room might have been off. And when you consider that Diddy's sons aren't exactly drama-free themselves, well, it gets creepier. Because Justin was named in a Lil Rod lawsuit, and Christian has his own legal battles. And so it's not hard to imagine that the vibe may have been tense, if not downright unsettling. But the biggest red flag of all was that Ava pretty much disappeared after that video. Aside from a couple of brief appearances with Diddy's twin daughters Jessie and Delilah, she seemed to vanish entirely. No more family photos, no follow-up videos. It was crickets from her side. And considering Diddy had her calling him Papa Combs, you'd expect her to have a more permanent presence in his life. Now, with all the disturbing allegations coming to light, claims of trafficking and mistreatment of women, fans are starting to question what really happened to Ava. Her sudden disappearance has sparked a wave of speculation, turning the whole situation into something that feels less like a feel-good adoption story and more like a real-life mystery. And people are beginning to wonder, was there more going on behind the scenes than we were led to believe? Now, here's where the plot thickens. Diddy's former bodyguard, Gene Deal, came forward and let it all out. According to Gene, Diddy didn't just mistreat Ava. He allegedly used her. He claimed the whole adoption was nothing more than a publicity stunt, a strategic move to earn sympathy and boost his image during the pandemic. And once Diddy got the attention that he wanted, Gene says he cast Ava aside like she was never a part of the family to begin with. Gene painted a disturbing picture, saying Diddy found a little homeless girl, brought her into his world under the guise of adoption, and then pretended to embrace her like one of his own, all for just appearances. Behind the scenes, though, it was allegedly all smoke and mirrors. And while Gene didn't outright accuse Diddy of harming Ava, he definitely stirred that pot. He hinted that something dark may have happened, suggesting that people in the industry already know the truth about Diddy's character. Let's just say he didn't hold back, and the tea he spilled was piping hot.
It's craziness, man. And you know what's so crazy is, bruh, that all these stories has been around the industry for a long time. All these industry people know that Diddy been acting like this and doing this and try to engage. Yo, it's a lot of stories that goes around in this industry about Not just him, other people. Jimmy Iovine. Ain't nobody talking about Jimmy Iovine. He got no charges and everything on him. But he got those publicists that's keeping it out off of CEN, is keeping it off the major news reports. Nobody's talking about that. This is something that goes on, man, that they're gonna push up under the rug, and a few years later, Bad Boy 5, 6, 7, 8 will be out.
Sadly, Gene might be right when it comes to the industry's habit of looking the other way. We've seen it before. R. Kelly, Harvey Weinstein, Bill Cosby. Powerful men protected for years while they suffered in silence. And even in Cassie's lawsuit, she made it clear that Diddy was constantly surrounded by enablers and people who either ignored his behavior or actively helped cover it up. So when Gene started dropping bombshells, it wasn't hard to wonder what's really been happening behind closed doors. And here's where it gets especially disturbing. Gene hinted that Diddy might have had some very questionable videos involving Ava. Videos that are allegedly not just inappropriate, but potentially criminal. He even claimed that federal investigators were allegedly searching for the videos because they believe they did exist.
You understand? It's gonna come to the forefront. Now, what they're looking for, because it was going on the premises of, they're looking for pictures of girls that may appear to be underage in a context, like they in this act. That's what they're looking for. So now they're gonna go through all those devices. If somebody got any kind of weird that they got little kids or little girls or something like that in any kind of pictures or any kind of photos that they took out of there.
And well, it looks like 50 Cent also has this insider information because allegedly he's been sitting on some insider knowledge about Diddy and his mess long before the receipts started coming out. 50's been warning us for years, but folks brushed him off, chalking it up to jealousy or old beef. And most people figured he was just salty that Diddy didn't sign him back when he was trying to break into the industry. And to be fair, there might still be a little bit truth to that too. We all know 50 Cent is the king of holding grudges because he is petty as F. So it's not shocking that his beef with Diddy never died down, especially since he's also been in a long-standing feud with Diddy's bestie, Jay-Z. But y'all, 50 Cent hinted that there were some more disturbing details about Diddy than the feds were even keeping hidden. Like when he said, "This is why they put that tape out. They know they can't charge him with what we saw, but they know we can't unsee what we saw." So according to an insider, 50 Cent allegedly had some hard evidence about Diddy allegedly Ava, and that he's going to be heavily featured in his up-and-coming documentary. For context, last year, 50 Cent announced that he was doing a documentary on Diddy, saying, "Diddy do it? Coming soon, GLG, Greenlight Gang, and another one." He also said, "Rapper, I thought Diddy was a billionaire music mogul. If he's smart, he will file for bankruptcy now. Anyone with real money knows why I'm saying this. I'm the best producer for the job, guys. Here come the receipts." Now, all this was said last year, and in the middle of all the other mess that Diddy had going on, we kind of forgot about Ava. But then it changed after Terrence started hinting that he knew something about her. The next thing we knew, the feds updated their indictment against Diddy, adding 2 new anonymous...
Oh, sorry.
Said, at all times relevant to this indictment, Sean Combs, the defendant, engaged in a persistent and pervasive pattern of toward women and other individuals. This was at times verbal, emotional, physical, and sexual. As part of his pattern of abuse, Combs manipulated women to participate in orchestrated performances of activity with Combs and at times with Combs and male commercial workers. At times, Combs and others acting at his direction made arrangements for women and commercial workers to fly to Combs' location. Combs ensured participation from the women by, among other things, obtaining and distributing products to them, controlling their careers, leveraging his financial support, and threatening to cut off the same, and using intimidation and They also added new charges, writing, Combs and other members and associates of Combs Enterprise wielded the power and prestige of Combs' role at the Combs business to intimidate, threaten, and lure female to Combs' orbit, often under the pretense of a romantic relationship. Combs then used force, threats of force, and coercion to cause, including but not limited to 3 female, 1, 2, 3, to engage in commercial acts. In connection with the commercial acts, Combs provided the with, among other things, monetary payments, career opportunities, and payment of rent and housing expenses. It continued, some of the commercial acts involved male commercial workers and were referred to by Combs as, among other things, freak-offs. Freak-offs were elaborate and produced performances that Combs arranged, directed, mastering, and often electronically recorded. In arranging these freak-offs, Combs, with the assistance of other members and associates of Combs Enterprise, transported and caused to be transported commercial workers across state lines and internationally. Y'all, so he was also accused of allegedly forcing women to sleep with other men at his famous parties for money. But before we get into what federal investigators have uncovered, let's be very crystal clear. The situation did not consent to this. According to the feds, Diddy allegedly coerced her into participating in these acts and then forced her to accept payment afterwards. Why? So he could turn around and claim plausible deniability, acting like she willingly engaged and was simply being paid for services that she provided. It's all a calculated move meant to blur the lines.
Oh, it's very calculated.
Coercion. And considering how many people online have been quick to shame or discredit the women involved in Diddy's so-called freak-offs, it's not hard to see why this twisted tactic might actually work, at least in the court of public opinion. And it paints the victim as complicit, when in reality, she may have been trapped in a situation that they never agreed to in the first place. The indictment document said, from at least in or about 2009, up to and including in or about 2018 in Southern District of New York and elsewhere, Sean Combs knowingly recruited, enticed, harbored, transported, and solicited by any means a person to engage in criminal acts and willfully caused the same to wit. Combs recruited, enticed, harbored, transported, and maintained and attempted, aided, and abetted, and willfully caused to engage in commercial acts, knowing and in reckless disregard of the fact one was engaging in commercial acts as a result of force, fraud, and coercion. Then the document said from at least in or about 2021 up to and including in or about 2024 in the Southern District of New York and elsewhere, Sean Combs knowingly recruited, enticed, and solicited by any means a person knowing the means of force, threats of force, fraud, and coercion would be used to cause the person to engage in a commercial act and attempted, aided, and abetted, and willfully caused the same to wit. Combs recruited, enticed, harbored, transported, and maintained two, and attempted, aided, and abetted, willfully causing two to engage in commercial acts, knowing and in reckless disregard of the fact that two was engaged in commercial acts as a result of force, fraud, and coercion. Y'all, the same exact thing for two. Well, the streets are saying that Ava could allegedly be one of the new that the feds added. Given the recent public interest in her situation with Diddy, it wouldn't be surprising if the feds did some digging and decided to add her to the list of alleged. Y'all, this is very, very messy, but luckily it won't be very long for us to figure out what's going on, because even though the trial got pushed further, it's starting soon, and something tells us that we're going to be even more shocked than we are now. But in the meantime, I gotta know what y'all think about this. Drop your thoughts in comments below and then check.
Get the likes up. Get the likes up. That's what I got next. What I got next. Y'all ready for this one?
De otras historias reales en es.debate.
Hey, Pearls of Wisdom.
Picture this. You're scrolling through Instagram live archives and suddenly there he is, Sean Diddy Combs, surrounded by smiling faces, introducing a young girl as Ava Combs Baroni, his adopted daughter. The clip, originally shared in April 2020, seemed harmless until it resurfaced last fall amid Diddy's high-profile legal troubles. Almost overnight, social media detectives speculated that this Ava was none other than 6-year-old Ava Grace Baldwin, who vanished without
without a trace from her San Antonio school back in 2015. Could a missing child's fate have been concealed behind celebrity glitz? Today, we break down every piece of this tangled narrative, separate fact from fiction, and sound the nationwide alert that might just lead to the real Ava's safe return. When the video first appeared, fans applauded Diddy's apparent act of kindness. In the April 2020 Instagram Live, he cradled the girl in his arms, cheek to cheek, asked her full name, and declared, "That's my adopted daughter, Ava Combs Baroni." He went on to explain in jest that he adopted her because she needed someone to watch over her, comparing his gesture to other celebrity adoptions. The moment felt genuine, affectionate, and for many viewers, unremarkable until legal documents and TMZ reports emerged showing that no formal adoption ever took place. Sources confirm that the adoption
Another
was
lie.
nothing more than a skit, part of Diddy's playful on-camera persona, with no legal paperwork filed in any jurisdiction. As the clip went viral again in October 2024, around the time of Diddy's indictment on federal sex trafficking and racketeering charges, concern morphed into fear. Viewers worried about the girl's safety, especially given the gravity of the allegations against him. Comments flooded in demanding to know where Ava was now, and whether Child Protective Services had been alerted. The internet, as it often does, amplified these fears. Online sleuths pored over every frame of the live video, froze it to examine facial features, hair color, and even background decor, convinced they were on the verge of uncovering a secret. But celebrities endearing themselves to children on social media is hardly uncommon. The girl, known in personal circles as Ava Baroni, is the biological child of a close family friend, someone who spent time with Diddy's late partner Kim Porter, and that the Combs family never obtained legal custody. In fact, after Diddy's arrest in September 2024, Ava's biological parents reportedly asked the public to respect their privacy and affirmed their daughter's safety, further dispelling the notion of a secret adoption. Meanwhile, in San Antonio, Texas, there is a very real and heartbreaking case of a missing child named Ava Grace Baldwin. On September 17, 2015, 6-year-old Ava Grace was last seen walking out of her elementary school under the supervision of her mother, Catherine Ann Baldwin. Her father, David Hopper, had just secured primary custody and arrived at the school, only to find both Ava and Catherine gone. School attendance records later revealed that she missed 21 consecutive days, prompting Hopper to file a missing persons report with the San Antonio Police Department that very day. In the months that followed, hope faded into frustration. Catherine's silver 2014 Ford Escape, bearing Illinois plates Q292793, was discovered abandoned in an empty parking lot in April 2016, 7 months after Ava's disappearance. No signs of Catherine or Ava have surfaced since. Witness reports trickled in. A woman matching Catherine's description was seen in Florida, possibly attempting to hand off a young girl to another couple. Other unconfirmed sightings emerged from Oklahoma and California, yet none yielded concrete leads, and the trail eventually went cold. The National Center for Missing and Exploited Children lists Ava's case as an active family abduction, emphasizing that she may still be with her non-custodial mother, who holds an outstanding warrant for interference with child custody. Over the years, age-progressed images of Ava have been released, showing what she might look like as a teenager. The Charlie Project updated its information as recently as April 14, 2025, noting that Ava, had she been found, would now be 16 years old. These images are critical for public awareness. They illustrate how time changes a child's appearance and counter the assumption that missing posters from 2015 still reflect her current look. Despite these efforts, no confirmed sightings have been reported to law enforcement in the last year, leaving her case among the many unsolved disappearances in our nation. The eerie parallels between the two Avas, the shared first name, the approximate age range, and the social media rumors have fueled a narrative that grips online communities. Yet the coincidences end there. Diddy's purported Ava Combs Baroni is not only a different surname, but also a different background. She has never appeared on missing person websites, nor do any public records tie her to Texas or to Catherine Baldwin. When the rumor first gained traction in October 2024, law enforcement and child advocacy groups swiftly debunked any link, warning the public against spreading misinformation that could hamper genuine investigative work. Indeed, conflating unverified speculation with actual missing child cases can have dangerous consequences. Law enforcement resources are finite, and every false lead takes investigators away from credible incredible tip. Worse, it can re-traumatize families who cling to hope amid overwhelming uncertainty. For David Hopper and the Baldwin family, each rumor that Ava might be hidden in a strange place, but ultimately untrue, has been a bitter reminder of how elusive closure remains. Hopper has publicly stated his deep appreciation for community support, but has urged everyone to verify information through official channels like the San Antonio Police Department tip line at 210-207-7660 or the NCMEC helpline at 1-8008-435-678. In early 2025, a TikTok post claimed that Ava had been found safe on January 20th, 2025. The video celebrated that she is safe now, crediting anonymous online users for solving the case. However, no credible news outlet or law enforcement agency has confirmed such a development. The San Antonio Police Department's active missing persons roster still lists Ava Grace Baldwin as missing, and the NCMEC database shows no closure status. As of April 2025, her case remains open, awaiting any real break. So why does this matter to you? Beyond the sensationalism of celebrity rumors lies a young girl who, if alive, might see these discussions and reach out for help. Every like, share, or comment on a missing child poster can increase the chances of recognition. In an age where social media is both a blessing and a curse, we have the power to use it responsibly, to circulate age-progressed images, to repost verified flyers, and to report any unusual activity near us. If you live in Texas, Oklahoma, California, Florida, or Illinois, areas where Catherine Baldwin is known to have connections, keep an eye out for someone matching Ava's description. A Caucasian female, now around 16 years old, with blonde hair and hazel eyes, possibly traveling with an adult female who matches Catherine's profile. It is also crucial to remember the toll false narratives take on missing persons investigations. The Baldwin family has endured years of hope and heartbreak. False leads not only exhaust investigators, but can also give families a brief, cruel flicker of hope before it vanishes. Sensational conspiracies, like mistaking a celebrity skit for a real adoption, sound compelling, but distract from honest, targeted efforts that could lead to a real rescue. Always check the source. Verify through NCMEC or official police statements. Avoid forwarding unconfirmed claims.
Okay. What we got? Let me see. Let me go over here. So Diddy's daughters. Can y'all see this? Let me see. So everybody been asking. Everybody asking where Ava, the girl Diddy adopted. Here y'all go. She horseback riding with the twins. This was 5 days ago. I've been sitting on it.
Guys, we're cutting, and we're gonna take our cousin Kwai and our Ava. You guys all know her and remember her and ask about her every day, so you get to see her. Yay! And so we're with Ava and Kwai. We're going for spot riding. Yeah. We're on the way. Our appointment's at 3 and it's 2:17. But we're on the way. I'll see you guys there. Okay, guys, we just made it to the horse place. We're all here. The horses are so cute. They're getting saddled up right now, but I'm super excited that we're all the view. My horse's name is Coco. Mine is Joker. Delilah, what's your horse's name? Ava, what's your horse's name? Shorty. We got Shorty Blue up in the building. Yeah, it's so relaxing. I love experience. Guys, we're riding, and we're gonna take our cousin Kwai and our sister Ava. You guys all know her and remember her and ask about her every day, so you get to see her. Yay! And so we're with Ava and Kwai. We're going for stock riding. Yeah. We're on the way. Our appointment's at 3 and it's 2:17. But we're on the way. I'll see you guys there. Okay, guys, we just finished the horse place. We're all here. The horses are so cute. They're getting saddled up right now, but I'm super excited that we're all on. Hey, the view. My horse's name is Coco. Mine is Joker. Delilah, what's your horse's name? Ava, what's your horse's name? Shorty. We got Shorty Blue up in the building. Yeah.
Okay, there you go, y'all. I'll see y'all tomorrow.
Our cousin Kwai and Ava. You guys all know her.
Y'all have a good night.
And ask about her every day.